I'll be back before you know it, honey.
I'm going to miss you like crazy.
I know. Call me if you need anything, okay? Especially if my mom gives you a hard time.
I don't want to bug you while you are quite literally saving the world.
I love you. That's all that matters.
I love you too. My name is Laura, 29 years old, and my husband, Oliver, 28, was going back into the military. We were hopelessly in love and just got married last spring. I was planning on living on base while he was away, but his mother, Whitney, 62, was having a rough time living alone since her husband's passing off last year. Oliver was hoping she would live on base with me. She was unwilling to move from that house since it has been passed down for generations. I don't blame her, but the problem is her nasty attitude. She never liked me, and to this day, I don't know exactly why. Oliver says that I shouldn't sweat it because she's never liked his past girlfriends either. No one would be good enough for him in her eyes. And to say that she was shocked that we got married after 6 months of dating would be an understatement. She almost didn't come to our wedding. Whitney had to be dragged out of the car forcibly by her two sisters, and she was screaming her head off the whole time. She was very dramatic. After that incident, I avoided her at all costs. If Oliver wanted to visit her, he would go alone. The last time I joined in on a visit, she implied that it looked like I had gained weight before the wedding and that I would probably stay fat after having a child. But now I could no longer stay away at arm's length. The first week of living in the house wasn't too bad. We kept out of each other's way for the most part. I did, however, try to have breakfast or dinner with her to keep her company as per my husband's request. Anytime after that, I would hang out with friends or be at work. Our conversations were non-existent. But she did compliment my cooking, so I thought that was a good thing. Things immediately went downhill the following week after. I planned on making breakfast for us, but no eggs and bacon were in sight. I checked the freezer, and again there was nothing. I decided to do a quick grocery store run. So I went through the pantry and the refrigerator to see what we needed. I then went to the store and bought everything. I didn't mind doing this, but Whitney did. I came home with 6 bags full of groceries. What's with those bags? I noticed we were running low on some groceries, so I bought some. Which market did you go to? The one down the street? You would. I don't shop there. Well, why not? It's only a mile away. I am not too fond of their selections. You probably got all the cheap stuff. This one, do. You should return the food and go to Mary's Market. That's a 30-minute drive. Was she being serious? I know. Whitney, the grocery spot isn't so bad. Do you want any breakfast? I'm not eating anything you're making. She crossed her arms in a petty attempt at pouting. You're being a bit ridiculous. This could have been all avoided had you just asked me where I went to get my groceries. I'm telling you right now, I'm not eating that crap. Suit yourself. I thought she was joking, so I made her a plate and wrapped it in the fridge. I did the same thing for dinner. The entire week, she went on a hunger strike and only drank water. All the groceries I bought eventually went bad after the second week. I don't know how she could function without food, but I just assumed she would eat while I wasn't home or go out to get meals. The following week, the groceries were running low. This time, I waited for her to get some groceries since she was so adamant about going to Mary's Market. There was no way in hell I was driving half an hour. But again, she did not eat for another 4 days. It was then I realized she was teaching me a lesson. She was a stubborn old woman and I was learning the hard way. I'm going to Mary's Market. Would you like to make a list of things I should buy? Wow, how thoughtful, she said sarcastically. The groceries at Mary's were not different from the other place. I didn't understand why she was so challenging. Even though we had groceries in the house, she never offered to cook, which meant I did it all. The grocery incident wasn't our only issue. There is only one bathroom in the house, and I do my business and always clean up after myself. This woman did not know the definition of clean. She left her hair down the drain. Toothpaste would be all in the sink, wasting away, and the worst part was I always found pee on the toilet seat, as if she was always about to piss her pants before relieving herself. Every other day, I would clean the bathroom. I never got a thank you or an appraisal for it. These were all small things that I had issues with her. But the worst offense was her constant asking of where I was going, as if I was obligated to tell her. I'm a grown woman, for crying out loud. All I ever did was hang out with friends and work, but no, I had to be a stay-at-home wife? It's honestly kind of thrashy that you still go out like that. It's not like you're 21 years old anymore, so I don't understand the appeal or the need. What else do you expect me to do? Mop around until my husband returns? Yes, of course. I know you're kind. What the hell does that mean? You know what it means, she only said before leaving the room. My eyes turned red. I wanted to call Oliver and tell him exactly what she said, but he wasn't able to answer. That Friday, I got a call back from him. Honey, I missed you so much.
I know. I'm sorry I haven't been able to reach you. The towers were down and just a lot of things have been happening out here that I can't really talk about.
His voice was sad, something I rarely heard because he was such a strong man. I knew I couldn't share my problems with him at that moment. I didn't want to stress him out more. I had to face Whitney alone, but at what cost?
How is everything at home?
We're doing great. We miss you so much, though. I tried staying out of her way. The only time I had the place to myself was on Fridays, when she would pick up her heart medication. Besides that, she stayed at home. Everything boiled over when I decided to go again to the market nearby the house. It was so annoying having to shop at Mary's market, as Whitney paid no effort in going herself. Didn't I tell you about the grocery arrangements? I seem to be the only one who cooks around here, so I made the executive decision to make food from the groceries down the streets. And if you have an issue, then you don't have to eat. Wow, what an original thought of yours. How old are you? You are acting like a child. I didn't even want you here in the first place. It's not like I asked you to be here, but Oliver wanted me to keep you company since you don't have anyone else who gives a crap about you. You act all innocent, as if you have all these qualities that make you a great person. Well, newsflash, you aren't. I know your true intentions. You only got together with my son for his health insurance. Why else would you rush the wedding? That's further from the truth. Where did you get these delusions? We rushed the wedding because we are in love. These are not delusions. They are. I love your son, and you should know this by now. If only he knew what kind of floozy you were, coming and going as you please, wasting away any potential of dignity. You are a married woman going out with God knows who. That's the last straw. Do not talk to me with disrespect. I sneered. I felt myself lose control of my temper. I could care less. As a matter of fact, get out of my house. What? Get the hell out of my house, or I'm going to call the police. You are a deranged woman. Get out! She screamed, throwing the nearest glass on the floor. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed my keys and my wallet, but before leaving for good, I had a bad idea. Maybe rage was testing my limits, but whatever that may be, I swooped her own car keys. Before I knew what I was doing, I was pocketing them and on my way out the door, with her still screaming at the top of her lungs. I stayed at a friend, Carly's house. I didn't know what to expect, but maybe a phone call apologizing for her behavior? I got none of that. When Friday came rolling around, I surely expected a call, but nothing. She could easily pick up her phone and ask me where she might have misplaced her keys, or better yet, tell me to come home. Neither of those things happened. I tried to rationalize why she wasn't going to call. Maybe she called a taxi? Perhaps a friend took her to the pharmacist? But Whitney had no friends. How was she going to get her meds? By the second week, I began to worry, but Carly reminded me that Whitney had done this to herself. Good people get good actions. The same applies to bad people as well. Even when Oliver called, I always avoided the topic of his mother. After 3 weeks, his mother finally rang. It took her 3.5 weeks to collect her wits and call me. Well, look who decided to. Where the hell are my keys at? I am sick of this blatant disrespect. I can't. Is everything okay? No, I know what you did, and since I'm without my keys, I haven't been able to go to the pharmacist. That doesn't sound like that's my problem. You are sadistic, you know what? I am sadistic? Me? I'm not the one who threw their own family out on the streets with nowhere to go. Do not categorize me as family. I began to hear wheezing on the other side of the call. Just say 2 magic words and the keys are yours. I'll call the police. You would have already, so why start that now? I am not apologizing for anything. I did nothing wrong. Suit yourself right away. Right before I pressed the call to end, she began, I'm sorry, please, Laura, please. I need this medicine, okay? I can't function. Say pretty please. I didn't say I was a good person either. Pretty please. Wonderful. I went straight home, finding her on the steps of the house. She was ready for those keys. As soon as she left the house, I had this sudden feeling of guilt inside me, ready to burst. It was my conscience catching up with actions, and I didn't feel right. What started out as a bad decision after another could have cost my mother-in-law's life. I knew what I had to do. I called Oliver.
Hi, honey. How's everything at home?
I did something terrible. I blurted out.
What do you mean?
You're going to hate me, and I won't blame you.
Whatever it is, we will get through this together. What happened? Did you cheat on me?
Of course not. No, it's not that. Me and your mother had a bit of a squabble, and she kicked me out of the house.
What the hell? Are you serious?
Yes. She was saying all these horrible things, and we got into this huge fight, and while I was leaving, I took her car keys, and well, you know how your mother is. She's stubborn as all heck. It took her 3 weeks to call me, and her body reacted poorly without the medication. Oliver stayed silent. I believe I had single-handedly ruined my marriage.
That's ridiculous, Laura.
I know. I felt tears stinging in my eyes.
This is, wow. I don't know what to say.
Say anything, please.
I'll have to call you back.
He never did. Instead, he went on emergency leave and came home. His mother was all right, but royally pissed off with me, but somehow, in some twisted way, it made her respect me more than she did prior. Leave it in the past, Oliver. It happened. I'm fine.
How can I? This sounds insane. Both of you. You left her out on the streets with no clothes for something so stupid, and Laura took away your car keys so you got sick. This is madness.
As a result, his mother, him, and I went to family therapy to resolve some hidden anger on all 3 sides. Whitney admitted her wrongs but also said something I'll never forget in the first therapy meeting. Laura was the first girl ever to challenge me, and I'll take that to heart for the rest of my life, Oliver. Sure, she's a little crazy, but so is your mom. She's a keeper. That's the nicest thing you have ever said. Don't push it. Since then, Oliver and my relationship had bounced back to how it was before all of this had occurred. As for Whitney and I, we'll never like each other, but we do love and respect one another. And one thing is for sure, she hides her keys from me at all times.